So good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for being here to the Pond House in Milwaukie for our fifth, I believe, for our fifth annual collaborative bilingual reading, co-sponsored by the Milwaukie Poetry Series and the Al-Mutanabbi Street Starts Here coalition. And today we're going to have, as you know, readings of poems in both English and Arabic. I'm Tom Hogan, and I'm the coordinator of the Milwaukie Poetry Series, and I want to welcome you. I told you about the refreshments already, so if somebody didn't get some refreshments and you want to have some while I'm talking before the poems get started, now would be the time, I think, to do it. We've also talked a little bit about the microphone situation, and this will be optional today. People can use the microphone if they would like, or they don't have to do that if not. So let me say some thanks and a little bit about the Milwaukie Poetry Series before I introduce my co-host, Dr. Butti, who I'm going to do in just a bit. We're in our 12th year of the Milwaukie Poetry Series. I want to make some thanks to the city of Milwaukie for their support for the series. We started with a grant that we wrote 12 years ago while I was on the library board, the Letting Library Board, for a grant to the Clackamas County Arts Alliance for a poetry series. And as good things happen, often they funded it. And it was a startup grant, so we were very happy about that. And the second year, the city picked it up. So the city has been very supportive of the Milwaukie Poetry Series since then, and we're very grateful. So thanks to the city of Milwaukie. Secondly, thanks to the Letting Library, because we are a committee of the Letting Library. And you may be asking, those of you who are just here for the first time, and I should ask you, how many people are here for the first time at the Pond House? All right, welcome to the Pond House. Thank you very much. I'm going to say a little bit about the Pond House, just a word, is the year before the series was created, this house came on the market. And so the city of Milwaukie, and it had a very far-sighted city manager and city council at the time, and they bought it. And they bought it to have cultural events and meetings and to be a kind of a hub for the city of Milwaukie for events like this. And as it happened, just serendipitously, we were the first series that happened to come along. And so we've had our events here in the Pond House. And that's what the intent was. There are other things here that's used for a lot of meetings. And in the course of time, you may wonder, where is the Letting Library? And the Letting Library used to be right here since 1956. And the citizens of Milwaukie voted a bond issue to build a new library. And so that's under construction. And this is what you see now. The library is in temporary quarters about a mile to the north on Main Street in what's a 9 wide. And I was calling it a double wide, but it's actually 9 trailers that they have fashioned a temporary library. Those of us that have been there are, at least I speak for myself, I'm kind of getting used to it because they did a really good job given the fact that it's 9 trailers, that they created a temporary library. And so it's a nice situation. They've done a good job. As I said, it's about a mile that way on Main Street. So thanks to the Letting Library, and finally we have a Milwaukie Poetry Series committee. So as you know, you don't have things that happen without having people that work on it. And so I'd like to ask, I'm already standing, and our videographer, who was very gracious to be the videographer, Dan Hobbs, he is here as well. Our third member who is here is Emmett Wheatfall. Would you like to stand? Can we give them a hand, please? Thank you very much, because you know I'm speaking for any organization, and you have to have people that are committed to it and that are working on something to have something happen. So we are very grateful. I want to say a couple of other things about things that are coming up. We do sponsor readings, and our readings are on the second Wednesdays of the month. And our next reading is going to be next Wednesday, actually, which is March 13th. And there are flyers for the readings on the table here. So we have a second flyer that shows other special events that we also sponsor or co-sponsor, including these events. We have sponsored some workshops and some talks about different poets. There is going to be a second event that we are co-sponsoring with the Al-Mutanabbi Street Starts Here Coalition, which is March 30th. March 30th, which is a Sunday, I believe, or is it a Saturday? I could check.
Sorry, I can't remember that.
It's a Saturday, all right. It's going to be Saturday, 2 to 4, I believe is the time at the Central Library downtown, and it's also co-sponsored by these two groups, and we are absolutely delighted about it. How did we get into this? It was 6 years ago, and one of the people that comes here is a poet named Bill Denham, who was also connected with Dr. Butti. And Bill was from San Francisco, and he knew the founder of Wostl in San Francisco, who is the founder of the Al-Mutanabbi Street Starts Here Coalition. He came here, and he also came to the Al-Mutanabbi Street, and he said he would talk about it at our events, and he said, this is something that you really need to know about because the bombing there is an attack on culture. Well, that's true. And we had one of our members, a woman named Gail Barker, went to one of the readings, and she loved it. So she came back, and she talked to us about it. And in fact, Gail wrote a poem that was in her book. It was one of the first readings that we did was one of the poems, Love Letter from Baghdad, that was translated into Arabic. And for me, it was really the first time I'd ever heard Arabic read like that. It was very, very meaningful. We have lost Gail, unfortunately. We've lost her. She lost her battle with cancer. She passed away in October, but her daughter did a chapbook in her memory just before she passed, and we had a book launch for her. And there's actually I'll just tell you about it. There's actually a celebration of her life today after this event, 4 to 7 at the Kennedy School, McMenamins Kennedy School in northeast Portland. So one thing led to another, and we did the first co-sponsoring event with the Al-Mutanabbi Street Starts Here Coalition, and we've continued that collaboration, which has been very special, and we enjoy that. What we're going to do is I'm now going to introduce Dr. Butti, and he's going to talk a little bit about Al-Mutanabbi, and then we're going to get into reading the poems. So would you welcome our co-host today from the Iraqi Society of Oregon and the Al-Mutanabbi Street Starts Here Coalition, Dr. Baher Butti. Let's welcome him.
Thank you very much, Tom. Thanks to you all. Good afternoon. Actually, I'm getting a little bit jealous. I'm also a member in the New Portlanders Policy Commission in the city of Portland, which is for immigrants and refugees, but we are the New Portlanders. But anyway, the city of Portland is not thinking of buying a house to do these cultural events, so I'm really getting jealous about that. Al-Mutanabbi himself, he is an ancient Arabic poet. He's Arabic, but he's from Iraq. And let's say he's like the Shakespeare for Arabic culture. Anyway, so we have this street in Baghdad that's named after Al-Mutanabbi. It's for publishers and intellectuals, and they meet all the time, and bookstores there. That was attacked in 2007 by terrorists, and then that's when this movement started by Bill Butti to protest and make the cultural protest against terrorism. And it starts here. That's why we are starting here today, from everywhere in the world that they are doing these events. And culture all over the world there is always a culturation. When I went today into this hall, and the table cover that Tom is using, the table cover, actually it's an ancient Iraqi head cover. We call it kufiya. You have heard of the kufiya. In Iraqi we call it yashmar. And that's there. And I asked him, like, how did you get it? I said, I don't know. It's there. We didn't bring it.
It was a gift.
and it was a gift. You see, so that's a culturation that happens. And just to make use of the time, I just would like to let you know that you are here part of a worldwide movement that was started, as we said, by Wostl in San Francisco. So in this year, here are the cities, and I'm going fast to read around 30 cities in the world. So these readings are being done, this is being held in Baghdad, Iraq, of course, London, United Kingdom, Wilmington, Delaware, San Francisco, California, Hamden, Connecticut, Steamboat Springs, Colorado, Santa Cruz, California, and San Francisco again in California, Cairo, Egypt, Cleveland, Ohio, Venice, Italy, what is this? Gloucestershire County, United Kingdom, okay, Tacoma Park, Maryland, Calgary, Alberta in Canada, New Delhi, India, and Warren, Michigan, Milwaukie, Oregon, that's you, Portland, Oregon, and also Portland, Oregon and Beaverton City. Actually, 2 events you are holding in Portland, and you got the invitation, the email of Tom, and you are invited. Next week is our cultural, Iraqi cultural night. You are invited to attend. Catholic Charities at 5 o'clock. It's also in Dearborn, Michigan, Glasgow, Scotland, Cordoba, Argentina, Bristol, United Kingdom, Tikrit in Iraq, and San Jerome in Canada, and Melbourne in Australia. All these cities in the world are commemorating this event, and thanks to you for making it happen. And I think now we can go with our readers. Tom? Yep.
So what we're going to do is start with the English reader, who will read the poem in English. Then there will be someone who will read that in Arabic, and then we will reverse. And Bahar has some poems that he will be giving the English reader. And the order for readers will be Susanna Lundgren, who is going to read first, David Filer, Dan Hobbs, me, and Emmett Wheatfall. And Bahar is going to be introducing the Arabic readers who are going to read. So, our first poet is Susanna Lundgren, native of Milwaukie. Our art curator here, Susanna, is responsible for hanging the art that you see on the walls here. She's on the faculty at Warner Pacific College here in Portland. And so let's welcome our first poet today, Susanna Lundgren.
Thank you, Tom. This is actually my first time at one of these events. I feel very privileged to bring a piece and have it translated into the other language. I'll briefly tell you what this poem is about. This is a poem I wrote referring to the petroglyphs in the Columbia Gorge. So the ancient pictures that, the ideas that they tell us a story about the people that lived there and what was meaningful to them. So the title is Tamani Peshwa, which is the native word for written on the rock. Water spirits, owls, and lizards appear on the rock faces, scratched white through basalt patina, or daubed in paint with fingers and animal hair brushes, iron oxide for red, the color of blood and the life force, copper oxide for blue-green, black from the coal fire, and white clay to signify death and passage to the spirit realm. Artist shamans summoned these beings to bear witness and warning. Tsagalalal, she who watches, is written on the high rock. Nothing escapes the notice of her labyrinthine eyes. She sees all our actions, but says nothing. Tamani Peshwa. Yes, I can't wait to hear it.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Muwafaq Qatan. I'm from the Iraqi society. I'm happy to I did translate it.
Say your name again a little more slowly.
Muwafaq Qatan.
Thank you, my ears aren't that quick.
So forgive me if I missed something or a mistake.
Oh, well, I know.
The one who hears.
It'll just be beautiful.
Thank you. مكتوب على الصخر أرواح المياه والبوم والسحالي تظهر على وجوه الصخور خدش من خلال البياض البازرت الزنجاري وهو حجر بركاني البازرت الزنجار أو طليت في طلاء من أصابع مع الأصابع وشعر الحيوانات فرش أكاسيد الحديد الأحمر لون الدم وقوة الحياة أكاسيد النحاس الأزرق والأخضر الأسود من النار الفحم والطين الأبيض للدلالة على الموت والمرور إلى العالم الروحاني استدعي للفنان شامان هذه الكائنات للشهادة والتحذير من هذه الساعات مكتوب على الصخرة العالمية لا شيء يهرب من الإشعار من متاهة لها عيون ترى كل شيء أعمالنا لكن لا يقول أي شيء. Thank you.
Okay, now you can show me the English poem that I'm supposed to read.
We're going to see how Bahar is going to do this. Do you have an English, do you have a poem for her to read?
Oh, you want to start?
Sure.
Sure. So what we're going to do is that we're pairing poets, and we have Susanna's got a poem, an Arabic poem, translated into English. And so she's going to read that, and then we're going to hear the same poem read in Arabic.
I have a dream. Martin Luther King said, I dream, and why I don't dream, and I walk on the way of the dreamers. I dreamed I was going back to the city, walking through the streets at noon, and the black streets melted, and there are few children walking barefoot on them. I saw a bunch of hyenas stumbling upon my friends' shirts. I saw and heard how the car bombs exploded, and all the weapons, including C4, and people died. The important thing is that people die, and the world calls us terrorists. My dream was short, but it was overcrowded with nightmares. I have no dream.
Hi everyone, my name is Lubna Qatan. لدي حلم وأحلم ولماذا لا أحلم وأسير في ركاب الحالمين. حلمت أنني عائد إلى المدينة، تمشيت في شوارعها عند الظهيرة وقد ذابت الشوارع السود وثمة أطفال يسيرون حفاة عليها. رأيت مجموعة من الضباع تتعثر بقمصان أصدقائي. رأيت وسمعت كيف تنفجر المفخخات وكل الأسلحة بما فيها C4 وتموت الناس. المهم أن تموت الناس والعالم يسمينا بالإرهابيين. لقد كان حلمي قصيرا لكنه حلم ازدحم بالكوابيس. ليس لدي حلم. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So our next English reader is David Filer. David is a retired attorney, a local poet. He's been a reader here in the Milwaukie Poetry Series, I think 4 years ago. He's been a featured reader here at this event and was one of the featured readers here last year. So would you welcome our next poet, David Filer. David?
Thank you, Tom. It's an honor to be here. This poem was not written specifically for the occasion or on the subject of that the occasion is really about, but Tom thought it had some of the spirit that this event and all of the events like it are intended to convey. It's a three-part poem. The middle part is in the English language version of the haiku form, and I borrowed this form quite a few times by now from the poet Linda Paston, her poem To a Poet Recently Silent. And this poem is called Resolution. Part 1. It's gotten dark quickly, though we still feel summer's strength coursing through our frivolous hearts, urging us outside, out to the wonder of life clearly seen, though we sense that darkness will soon prevail in our lives. Part 2. Hope is light within, as we've been told many times, but quickly forget. Part 3. So we take ourselves outside to watch the fading light and try to remember all that makes life worthwhile, even when we can't see our way as clearly as we would like to. The light of day we hold somewhere deep in our hearts. Swear that we won't be dark. Thank you.
القرار لليندا باستن. لقد أصبح الظلام بسرعة على الرغم من أننا ما زلنا نشعر بقوة الصيف من خلال التعقيب على قلوبنا التافهة يحثنا إلى خارج إلى العجب. رأيت الحياة بوضوح على الرغم من أننا نشعر هذا الظلام سوف يسود قريبا في حياتنا. ثانيا الأمل هو الضوء في الداخل كما قيل لنا عدة مرات ولكن ننسى بسرعة. ثالثا لذلك نحن نأخذ أنفسنا خارج لمشاهدة ضوء يتلاشى ونحاول أن نتذكر كل ذلك يجعل الحياة جديرة بالاهتمام حتى عندما لا نرى طريقنا بوضوح كما نرغب في نور اليوم الذي نحتفظ به في مكان ما عميق في قلوبنا. أقسم إننا لن نكون مظلمين. Thank you. So I will read this poem for an Arabic writer. He is one of our community members in Portland, and I'll read it in English because I don't have English. So this is for Ali Madhi. Some eyes are just a dresser for summer clothes that we put them in winter. Some eyes is a crowd of the migrant birds meeting for the first time. Some eyes is just you, but without a memory at dawn. Come, I'll write you a poem. I'll paint you as a backyard, a third and fourth and fifth river, for a country that is thirsty like my mouth. It's like my country. And now I'll read it in Arabic. بعض العيون هي خزانة لملابس صيفية في الشتاء. بعض العيون هي زحمة طيور مهاجرة تلتقي لأول مرة. بعض العيون هي أنت لكن دون ذاكرة عند الفجر. تعالي أكتبك قصيدة، أرسمك حديقة خلفية، نهر ثالث ورابع وخامس، لبلاد تشكو العطش مثل فمي مثل بلادي. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So we have a poem for David to read later in the reading, and I think we'll do that as the final one. So when we come around to that, I can get the poem to you. Our next English reader is Dan Hobbs, who is currently serving as our videographer, and he and I are going to trade places momentarily. So Dan is a local poet, a member of the Milwaukie Poetry Series Committee. He's a director too. He directed a local production, and he's going to go back to the stage. He's going to have a small role in Arsenic and Old Lace, starting this coming Friday. Would you welcome our next reader, Dan Hobbs?
You had to say that, didn't you?
I did. I wanted to give you a promotion.
I thank you for that. Yeah, I haven't been on stage in over 20 years. As I get older, I have excellent memory. I always memorize very, very thoroughly and well. But my memory is like this giant card catalog, and every once in a while I go to a drawer, and the drawer just sticks. And so fortunately I've got a small part with not very many lines. Anyway, thanks. This poem has nothing to do with anything except my own experience. It's called Indiana Winter, 2 a.m., and it has nothing to do with Indiana, except that this is where this moment happened to me, so it got called that. Indiana Winter, 2 a.m. The entire neighborhood is asleep, everyone but me at the window, watching the snow come down, down. The night's so quiet I can hear my heart beat. My body lifts and sways a little with each pulse. Outside, the trees, the oaks, maples, our two red buds, the tulip poplar, lift their dark, naked limbs to the lowering sky. The houses, too, are dark, the windows empty. Everything stands fixed, witness to the measureless procession of the snow. Then, without warning, the brain performs one of its old parlor tricks. The snow halts midair and holds its breath, while all the rest, the lawns with their tiny buried kingdoms, the trees at attention stripped to the bone, the abandoned doorways, forlorn windows, the streets and sidewalks ridged with frozen slush, street lamps with their soulless chemical glow, everything is rising, rising. I feel a virtual lurch as the house lifts free of the frozen earth, and all of us now, my family asleep under quilts and blankets, the dog, his paws twitching in dreams of the chase, the neighbors entombed in their hidden lives. We are all rising, rising past the paused eternity of the snow into blank mystery. In moments, the illusion fades. The neighborhood regains its balance and settles to earth. The chair puts its reassuring hand against my back, and the snow resumes its steady, inexorable descent. Only my breath still hovers, reluctant to alight. Thank you.
Actually, before I start, may I introduce myself?
Yes.
Yeah. My name is Nabil Salmo, of medicine. and faculty member. Actually, I'm so pleased and happy and delighted to be here among you for the first time and to attend this very nice, very nice meeting or gathering. Now I start with Indiana winter, 2 a.m. The entire neighborhood is asleep. Everyone but me at the window watching the snow come down. The night so quiet. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay.
Read my poem.
Thank you. Okay. Indiana winter. الحي بأكمله نائم. الجميع ولكن إلا أنا على النافذة يشاهدون الثلج يتساقط إلى الأسفل. ليلة هادئة جدا. أستطيع سماع دقات قلبي. جسدي يرفع ويتأرجح قليلا مع الكل نبض. خارج الأشجار البلوط والقيقب لدينا 2 من شجيرات البازيلا وشجر الحور ترفع ظلامهم والأطراف عارية إلى السماء السائبة. المنازل أيضا مظلمة. النوافذ فارغة. كل شيء يقف ثابت. شاهد على مسيرة بدون قياس من الثلج المتساقط. بينما كل ما تبقى المروج مع ممالكهم الصغيرة المدفونة. الأشجار في الانتباه جردت إلى العظم. المداخل المهجورة والنوافذ البائسة والشوارع والأرصفة المقطوعة بالمواد المتجمدة والمصابيح الشمسية وبلا روحها والوهج الكيميائي. كل شيء أخذ في الارتفاع. ترتفع. أشعل بالارتجاف لفعلي عندما يرفع المنزل من الأرض المتجمدة. وكلنا الآن عائلتي نائما تحت اللحف والبطانيات. كلبي من نوع اللابرادور مخالبه الوغز في أحلام المطاردة. الجيران مدفونين في حياتهم المخفية ونحن جميعا في الارتفاع. صعود الماضي الخلود المؤقت للثلج إلى سر الفراغ. في لحظات يتلاشى الوهم. يستعيد الحي توازنه ويستقر على الأرض. ويضع الكرسي يده المطمئن على ظهره. ويستأنف الثلج نزوه الثابت المضطرد. فقط نفسي لا يزال يحوم مترددة في النزول. Thank you.
You have a poem for Dan to read? He read Arabic.
الشاعر العراقي الكبير عبد الرزاق عبد الواحد. قصيدة لزوم ما لا يلزم من الوجع. خوفا على قلبك المطعون من ألمي سأطبق الآن أوراقي على قلمي. نشرت فيك حياتي كلها علما. الآن هبني يدا أطوي بها علمي. يا ما حلمت بموت فيك يحملني به ضجيج من الأضواء والظلم. أهلي وصحبي وأشعاري منتثرة على الجنازة أصواتا بلا كلم، إلا عراق تناديني وها أنا ذا أصحو بأنايا بقاع الأرض من حلمي، فأبصر الناس لا أهلي ولا لغتي، وأبصر الروح فيها صد عن منثلم. أموت فيكم ولو مقطوعة رئتي، يا لائمي في العراقيين لا تلومي. شكرا.
For fear of your heart. For fear of your heart, which is stabbed by my pain, now I will fold my papers on my pen. In you I published my whole life as flag. Now give me a hand to fold it on me. I dreamed of dying in you, carried me full with noise from lights and darkness. My family, my friend, and my poetry are scattered on the funeral. Voices without words except Iraq call me. And here I wake up in the depths of the land from my dream, the eyes of people, not my family, not my language, and the sight of the soul in it has a fault in it. I die in you, even if my lungs are broken. Do not blame me in the Iraqi people. Do not blame.
Thank you very much, Dan. Thank you. I'm the next reader, and I thought about quite a bit what I wanted to read today, and I decided to read a well-known poem by William Stafford, A Ritual to Read to Each Other. There's just so many things going on in the world, here, there, and everywhere, and this seemed to fit. A ritual to read to each other. If you don't know the kind of person I am, and I don't know the kind of person you are, a pattern that others made may prevail in the world, and following the wrong God home, we may miss our star. For there is many a small betrayal in the mind, a shrug that lets the fragile sequence break, sending with shouts the horrible errors of childhood storming out to play through the broken dike. And as elephants parade holding each other's tail, but if one wonders, the circus won't find the park. I call it cruel, and maybe the root of all cruelty, to know what occurs, but not recognize the fact. And so I appeal to a voice, to something shadowy, a remote, important region in all who talk. Though we could fool each other, we should consider, lest the parade of our mutual life get lost in the dark. For it is important that awake people be awake, or a breaking line may discourage them back to sleep. The signals we give, yes or no or maybe, should be clear. The darkness around us is deep. A Ritual to Read to Each Other by William Stafford.
طقوس للقراءة بعضها البعض ويليام أي ستافورد. أنت لا تعرف من أي نوع الأشخاص أنا، وأنا لا أعرف أي نوع من الأشخاص أنت. نمط قد يصنعه الآخرون في العالم، اتباع بيت الله خطأ قد نفقد نجومنا، ولأن هناك الكثير من الخيانة الصغيرة في العقل. التغاضي يسمح لكسر الهش التسلسلي، إرسال مع الصراخ أخطاء الطفولة مروع، اقتحام للعب من خلال سد مكسور، وكمسرح الأفيال يمسك كل فيل ذيل فيل الآخر، ولكن إذا كان أحد يجول في السرك لن تجد المتنزه. أسميتها قاسية، وربما جذر كل قساوة لمعرفة ما يحدث، ولكن لا تميز الحقيقة. لذا أناشد صوتا لشيء غامض، منطقة مهمة بعيدة لكل من يتحدث. على الرغم من إننا يمكن أن نخدع بعضنا البعض، يتوجب علينا النظر خشية أن يضيع موكب حياتنا المتبادل في الظلام، لأنه من المهم أن يستيقظ أناس المستيقظون، أو كسر الحظ قد يثنيهم عن النوم. الإشارات التي نقدمها نعم أو لا، أو ربما يجب أن يكون واضحا، الظلام حولنا عميق. Thank you.
So my suggestion is, before I introduce our next poet, Emmett Wheatfall, is for us to end with a poem by Gail Barker. And I handed it to Filer, and David had, in English, it's Love Letter from Baghdad. And it appeared in her book. And so I'm hoping that we can end with, if this is okay with everybody, with David reading that in English, and Bahar, if you would read that in Arabic.
Just because I wish you had said it to me before. It's not. Yeah,
So we're just going to read that in English.
So in English, I
Okay.
understand that.
Okay, that will be fine. We will end with that then. And I will check after Emmett reads to see if there's any other poem that we want to read before we get to that one, but we'll finish up with that. So our next poet is Emmett Wheatfall, who is the, I hope I get this right, the diversity coordinator.
No, assistant county administrator.
Assistant County Administrator for Clackamas County. Assistant County Administrator for Clackamas County. Wonderful. And Emmett has just had a new book come out, Clean as a Bone, and he has an event that he may want to tell you about. I'll let him give you the details when he's here. So would you welcome our next poet and a member of the Milwaukie Poetry Series Committee, Emmett Wheatfall. Emmett.
Good afternoon. It is a delight and a privilege to be able to participate in the Al-Mutanabbi Street reading. Tom did mention that I have an event on April 14th in the evening at 7 o'clock, and it's called Love in a Box of Chocolate. And it was scheduled for February 9th, but it snowed and had to cancel the event. And so we've moved it to April 14th. It's free. If you'd like to know more about it afterwards, I'd be delighted to share that with you. It's going to be a wonderful evening. No cost to you. Oregon Poet Laureate Kim Stafford will be there, LaRonda Steele, and I'll be doing about an hour or so of lyrical poetry to music. I'm really excited about the poem that I chose for this reading. When I take a look at the weather today and this beautiful creek to the left, I had no idea that this poem would be sort of perfect for this reading. And I also want to say that I think that this is a great event. Unfortunately, as a result of the Al-Mutanabbi Street bombing, that was unfortunate, but who would have thought such a good thing would come out of it, that cross-culturally we would intersect around poetry. And even though I may not be, I don't know Arabic, but the sound of the rhythm and the cadence and the utterances are just beautiful. I'd like to share with you this poem this afternoon. It's called The Colorful Creek. The Colorful Creek. What brings me to this colorful creek, where its water is cool and surrounding rock face, a beautiful whiteness complementing this, a beautiful day? Is it true I'm drawn to reflections of myself, whereupon I discover how I am that same man given to the privilege of yesterday? How does this trickling creek speak to me in the language of my ancestors, who interpreted sound of wind, rain, rushing water, nature, and most other things? Be still, my soul, and quiet my anxious spirit. Let the course of this day create teachable moments, touting self-awareness, self-actualization. I linger for these moments. Not for the moment contrary have I come, neither will I tend to it. Where else is there for me to swear by it? The colorful creek. Thank you.
الخور الملونة. ما يقودني إلى هذا الخور الملون، حيث مياهه باردة ووجهه الصخري بياض جميل. هذا يوم جميل. هل هذا صحيح؟ أنا أنجذب إلى تأملات من نفسي، عندها أكتشف كيف أنا لذلك الرجل نفسه. نظرا لامتياز الأمس، كيف يتكلم معي هذا الخور المتقاطر في لغة أجدادي، الذي فسر أصوات الرياح والأمطار والمياه المتدفقة، الطبيعة ومعظم الأشياء الأخرى. لا تزال روحي هادئة، روحي القلقة. دع مسار هذا اليوم يخلق لحظات قابلة للتعلم، يروج الوعي الذاتي قيق الذات. ظل في هذه اللحظات، ليس في اللحظة المضادة لقد جئت، ولا أميل إلى ذلك. أين هو هناك؟ ليس لأن أقسم الخور الملونة. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Before I ask David to read Gail's poem, are there any comments, Bahar, that you would like to make?
Inspired.
I agree. I am inspired. I agree with Emmett's comments about listening to Arabic. And even though I don't understand Arabic, it's a beautiful language. And I'm always inspired by it and to get to hear it spoken. So thank you for being here. It's I'm always delighted that we are able to collaborate in this kind of way, and I see us continuing to do that. And thank you for all the work that goes into translating this as well. So it's I can imagine it's quite a bit. Pardon?
Muwafaq helped with the translation.
Yes. So thank you very much for it. Thank you, Thank you so much for it. And are there any other poems that we want to read before we conclude with Gail's poem? All right.
Not for Arabic writers.
Not for-
I will try my best with the Arabic version for Gail.
For a love letter from Baghdad?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's try to do that. I think it's very pertinent that we end with Gail's poem, and so I want to invite David Filer back to the microphone, if you would. And I'm going to tell a little funny story, if I may. Well, I gave David the copies of the poem, and one's in English and one's in Arabic, and so David checked with me about just which one I wanted him to read. So I said, well, it's the English one, and this is Gail Barker's poem, Love Letter for Baghdad.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you all again for being here and for the spirit behind this event and others like it. This is kind of a sight read, so forgive me if I go wrong. Love letter from Baghdad. Call me Rabia. I was named for the Sufi saint. Blood pumps through the 4 chambers of my heart, swift and scarlet with joy, or slow and bruised black with sorrow. We are the same. This morning as I pin up wash in my rubbled courtyard, the long fingers of the sun reach over the desert and sting my sleepless eyes like dust, like diesel fumes. There's an explosion. Did you hear it? My neighbor sinks to the ground in the folds of her burqa, a dark flower rocking and keening, her bloodied grandchild in her arms. The earth trembles with the terrible sound of her grief. We are the same. I want to share sweet memories with you of date palm and pomegranate, the hay fragrance of saffron, the song of the nightingale. I invite you to share yours with me. We are the same. Come, sister, let's raise our arms and begin. We'll spin and dance like the Sufis. It will take as many turns as there are stars to make this right. We do not yet know the steps.
Thank you. And may God bless Gail. رسالة حب من بغداد. اسمي ربيع. سميت نسبة إلى اسم إمام صوفي. الدم يجري في الغرف الأربعة لقلبي. رقيق وأيضا سريع. قاني بفرح أو بطيء ومخدش بسواد مع الحزن. نحن متشابهون. هذا الصباح عندما كنت أعلق الغسيل على في الحديقة الخلفية، وأصابع الشمس الطويلة تأتي من الصحراء لتخدش عيني اللتان لم تناما، مثل غبار، مثل بخار الديزل. هناك انفجار. هل سمعتم؟ جارتي تنزل إلى الأرض في طيات برقعها مثل زهرة مظلمة، تهتز وترقد على الأرض، حفيدها المدمى بين أيديها. الأرض تهتز مع اهتزاز صوت الحزن. نحن متشابهون. أريد أن أشارك ذكريات عذبة معك، للنخيل، للرمان، لرائحة العشب، لأغنية بلبل. أدعوك لأن تشاركني هذه الذكريات. نحن متشابهون. تعالي يا أختي لنرفع أيدينا ونبدأ. سندور ونرقص مثل الصوفيين. سنحتاج إلى دورات كثيرة كما عدد النجوم لنجعل الأمر صحيحا، ولكن سنعرف الخطوات لاحقا، لا نعرفها بعد. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bahar. Thank you all for being here. We're going to continue collaboration in these types of events. They are just wonderful. So thank you and wonderful day. Let's give us all a hand, please.